Well, good morning, mid-morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it may be. Enjoying some iced coffee actually in my Vermont mug. So I'm just chilling out in the shed this morning. I had to go to Lowe's earlier. Got some more clamps to put around the pool because I think the wind's gonna take the whole cover off over the winter and dump it on the neighbor's roof or something. So I did that and a few other things, and now I'm just chilling out. My last day off until next Friday. I'll be off next Friday, but so this is like my Sunday, to be honest. So I'm just chilling out in the shed. I'm actually going to smoke, and this is the beauty about having the pipe rack. I can see pipes, and so I know I'm a little far away, but maybe my little handy dandy remote here can show you. We're using the Morgan pipe, which I haven't smoked in, and I'm sorry if the zoom was quick there, but I'm trying something new. I'm going to a wider shot, so you guys get a sense of the Shed of Solitude a bit. So I'm smoking black coffee. I think it's by Cobblestone, if I remember right. I forgot to put on my label. Yes, it is. It's right there. Oh no, that's hot. That's hot chocolate. I should probably put my reading glasses on. But anyway, last night after I did my video and I was smoking another bowl. I was moving things around and I lost this lighter. And I don't know where it went. I was looking it was driving me absolutely crazy. And I'm saying to myself, I know I didn't lose it. I would have known if this dropped, I would have seen it. And not only that, this lighter sticks out like a sore thumb. You can kind of see it. Racking my brain, where the hell did I put it? But then I remembered, I went outside for a minute just to get some fresh air, check things out outside, and I was over by the pool because one of the valves I left closed. It needed to be open, and I couldn't figure. And I'm like, it's stuck. I'm like, oh great! Don't tell me I screwed something else up on the pool. But I ended up putting this on top of the pool cover, and then I finally found it. Like dawned on me. I'm like, you idiot! But anyway, let me do the false light. I'm so glad I found it because this lighter, I actually love this lighter for pipe smoking. Maybe I'll do a review on it. We'll see. I don't know. But today, last night after I'd got done with my little debacle, I was thinking about legacy. The legacy we leave behind, or the legacy that one leaves behind. And I was in this kind of a paradox when I was thinking about that. I was like, well, all right, let me get my true light here. Look at the crickets are still chirping out here. The downside of the Morgan pipes, I'm so used to filters. There's no filter in it. And what I love about the filters is they block the little pieces of tobacco shooting up and you get it in your mouth. That doesn't always happen to me, but it happens. But back to legacy. So I don't know, it just dawned on me when I was at the table over there. I was looking at Christopher Morley's book, Parnassus on Wheels, and of course the Haunted Bookshop, the combination book. And I got to thinking, wow, that was over 100 years ago. And then I was thinking, I looked over at his picture and I'm thinking, well, he wrote a lot of things back in those days, and he was remembered in his time for quite a bit. He was an interesting man, but over the decades, not many people know of him. Of course, there's been a bit of a resurgence with the Haunted Bookshop, tobacco and stuff, and whatnot. But then you think about it, well, what am I going to leave behind? Of course, the most important thing is an impression on my daughter, leaving a good impression on my daughter and her, you know, becoming a good person, good citizen, and all that stuff. So that's most important to me as a legacy. And I think anybody who's a father or a parent or whatnot feels the same way. That's the most important thing. But when you think of yourself and you think of the existential crisis, I think we all go through where we're like, well, what the hell is the meaning of all this? And then you get into the absurdity of it all, and there's really no point. You just have to make the best of it and give it meaning to yourself. And I was thinking the legacy, and then I was thinking of Marcus Aurelius. I think it was him, where he said, everything is forgotten and you will be as well, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing off the top of my head, but and I think about, you know, people like Teddy Roosevelt, which is, by the way, that's the bust of Teddy Roosevelt. Although he looks like my father a bit with the mustache, which is weird, but, you know. By the way, my dad has a rockin' mustache, and, you know, I can grow a mustache pretty good. The beard I can't grow so well, and I've been tempted to just let the mustache flow and kind of do the curly things and everything. I think I could rock that. I don't know. We'll see. Someday maybe I'll have the guts to do it. But I was thinking, isn't that a bit ironic that Marcus Aurelius was, you know, talking about, you know, eventually in time you'll be forgotten, and yet 2,000 years plus we're talking about Marcus Aurelius, and we know about Teddy Roosevelt after he's been gone for a while. It's just curious how we remember some people, but the everyday people we kind of forget, right? We kind of just fade into existence, and that's it. And your family members remember you to a point. Like, I remember my grandparents, and I do tell my daughter about them as well, and of course my Uncle Dick as well, who is in the Hockey Hall of Fame in the U.S. I tell her about him and stuff, and, you know, is she gonna take up that and talk about me and, you know, her grandfather and her great-grandfather and stuff as she gets older? And, you know, it can get lost in time. I don't know, it was a fascinating thing to me last night that just struck me, of how things fade. And your legacy, is it really that important at the end of the day? You know, like politicians, you get a building named after you, great. Or a street, or a library, or something like that. I don't know. Does it mean much? I don't know. You know, cobblestone, I think it's the Scandinavian group that does it, but these are good blends. I have not been dissatisfied with cobblestone. Got a fly in here. Big black one. Big horse fly. Redcoats, I need your gun there, the bug's gun there. I should have got one for the shed. But then I was laughing because I'm thinking, all right, well, I've done podcasting. I've done these videos. So that's out there. Well, how long will that all last, right? Will it be wiped from the face of the digital internet or whatever at some point, someday? Or will it just stay there and someone will come across it 1,000 years from now or something? I don't know. It's very strange. I know Pursuit of Wonder kind of did a video about that, where he was talking about, you know, at the beginning of the video, he talks about these kids in a museum. They were just looking at like an early computer of whatnot and the data that was on it and stuff, and it was funny to them. They're like, oh, you know, they weren't impressed by it. Then I get to thinking, these are the random thoughts I had last night at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm thinking like, all right, 100 years ago, how are we judging the people from 100 years ago? And then I said, well, fast forward to 100 years from now, how are they going to judge us? And would it be the same kind of, I don't know what the word is, but like we look down at those people for some reason because they weren't, as you know, as what's his face said, Old Carolina Pipe Cottage. He said in his, I think in his blog, or he said it in his video, that we think everything important happened the day we were born forward and nothing behind, which is crazy to think about. Which is why I think us pipe smokers, for the most part, appreciate the past and try to learn from the past and contemplate on the past. I think that's very important. But I know there, as a whole, a society or whatever, we look in the past, and especially today, you know, you got to cancel everything, and you know, you kind of don't want to use the perspective of time and where we've gone from and where we are and what we've accomplished between those two time frames. We just want to poo-poo it. Oh, they're horrible people and stuff. And I don't know. We look at them as simpletons when we shouldn't. They weren't as. I mean, they were as smart as us, if not smarter, to be honest. I don't know. So we're going to look at us like that as well. You know, of course, we're not going to think that right now, right? We're not looking at it like, how will people judge us 100 years or 200 years from now? I don't know. It's funny to do that thought exercise because I try to do what the Stoics do. Like when you get into a situation or when you get into a, or even looking at something in historical perspective, you got to do the bird's eye view. Marcus Aurelius talks about that. Rufus, I think, talks about that as well, where you put yourself above the clouds and kind of look at the bigger picture to judge how things are. And of course, the irony is they had slaves, the Stoics, some of them. So I don't know. It's just a crazy conundrum. Human existence is weird, isn't it? But anyway, those were the random thoughts I was having last night. And this black coffee pairs well with iced coffee. Nice. Like I know some, mostly men, I would assume, but even women, think about their legacy when they're going, you know, especially if you're a politician, an athlete, probably even a professor or whatever, teacher as well. But does it really matter? I don't know. I guess on one aspect it's like, I mean, it won't matter because you're dead and you're not going to know if anyone remembers you when you're dead. But in your mind, it's probably nice to think, oh, well, I left something behind. I've made my mark. I did something instead of being like the masses where I just live my life, do things, the grind, the daily grind, get up, go to work, come home, eat, blah, blah, all that stuff. At least they made a mark and you're remembered for a while, but eventually you're just, it won't matter. But it is interesting to think about, like when you think about Marcus Aurelius, biblical times, if you will, that 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, there's still stuff that we can even touch, like the pyramids, the artifacts that they leave behind. It's amazing that that stuff survives throughout time. And of course, I don't know what will survive from us 1,000 years from now, because a lot of our stuff is disposable. Other than our trash, right? I guess that's what our landfills will be, our Great Pyramids, I guess. So let me ask you, does it matter what legacy you leave behind? I don't really consider it all that much. I don't really think of it. The only thing that really matters to me is leaving a great impression on my daughter to carry on and become a good citizen, or an amazing young woman, or woman I should say, as she gets older, and passing that on to her children if she has children or whatever. That's the most important to me. But as a whole, like, I don't care if you name a building after me or something like that, and it doesn't matter to me. Kind of silly. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. But does any of that matter to you guys? I don't think it does. This is really, really good. Perfect shed weather. 70 degrees, 61% humidity. Get the little smiley face on the thermometer. Anyway, that's the only ramblings I had. I think this will be my last video till Friday. I've done quite a bit of videos, and of course I'm gurgling here in the pipe. And get a little of that spit out. There we go. Don't think I'll do one tonight. I probably could, but I don't think I will. But finishing up, definitely get some Edward G. Robinson pipe tobacco. I keep smoking that stuff. I can't. I almost had it while I was doing this, but I said no, no. You gotta kind of mix it up a bit. I don't want to burn through it all. Like, I'm afraid if I keep smoking it, I'll. And speaking of legacy, I mean, talk about a legacy there. I mean, he was an actor. I don't know him all that well, other from Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur's The Ten Commandments or whatever it was. But he made a pipe blend that we can enjoy all these years later. And of course, it's in his name. And it's a damn good pipe blend. So I bet you if you could ask him, if there's such thing as a heaven, if you were up there, or hell, wherever he may go, I assume heaven, if it exists, you'd ask him, what are you most proud of? And he'd probably say the pipe tobacco. I know I would if it was me. I mean, other than children and all that stuff. I'm just saying something that they created or whatever. I bet you I would say the pipe tobacco. Maybe I'll make I got the Shed of Solitude blend, right? So maybe I'll make the Gus blend. Gus the Spider's special blend. Maybe I'll do that someday. No signs of Gus, by the way. All right, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you for joining, and I will see you guys pretty soon.